Hey everyone! Welcome to this new episode of Cat Talks, the podcast of Cat Magazine. And this podcast wouldn't be the same if I wasn't in the fabulous company of these marvelous three. Yeah, exactly. So, first of all, we have Bogat, the king of books and the queen of the screens. How are you today?
I'm very good, even though it's a bit cold outside. But with these people, I'm always very warm in my heart.
We have also Vieran, and I feel special vibes today, or am I wrong?
It's super special. I'm feeling great. My juices are flowing. Let's get started.
And we'll start with the third, and the third person here is, of course, Vincent, our Larousse Encyclopedia.
Oh my God, I'm being upgraded every week here. That's exciting.
Yeah, we'll stop there. I don't have anything higher, I think, maybe. I don't
Vamos,
know.
venga.
Today, we will talk about traveling.
Wow.
Like that?
I
So,
missed it.
yeah, even if we still can't travel during this pandemic because we all know why, well, I thought it was a nice topic to talk about and dream a bit about maybe summer. And it's also important to talk about this topic because there's something about create travel and where do we travel to, what do we think is important. So I just propose that we have a little chit chat between us scroll friends. But of course, Vincent prepared the topic. So is there something like LGBTQI plus tourism? Is there, we hear a lot about gay friendly, but is there more?
Yeah. Well, thank you, Philip. And when I was researching for the topic, I found a quote from Mark Twain that I thought would introduce this topic maybe a bit in a broad sense. And this quote says, travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness, and many of our people need it sorely on these accounts. Broad, wholesome, charitable views of men and things cannot be acquired by vegetating in one little corner of the earth all one's lifetime. So,
Hallelujah, Mark Twain.
Yeah.
so I think that was a nice quote because it links the idea of traveling with the idea of openness and diversity. And that's about the two things we'll try to mix in this podcast. So you asked me if there's something that we might call LGBTQI plus tourism.
Yeah.
That's a good question, and then
Thank
we
you.
see more and more report about it from different associations. For example, the International Gay and Lesbian Tourism Association and other tourism association, like for example the European Travel Commission, that in a report from 2018 was saying like actually. Well, this segment from a marketing point of view, what we call LGBTQI plus tourism, is a bit complicated because it's a segment of segments. So they were recognizing there that it's not a wholesome group of people having the same wishes and same wills and the same easiness. And another study from New York University also stated that, there is a diversity, and especially from gays and lesbian travelers, that they don't wish for the same thing or do the same thing. So if we try to consider the different letters in our acronym and look at what they mean, it's very different. Let's take the letter T, for example, and think about what it means for transgender people to travel, especially the transgender people transitioning. They are facing several issues as soon as they wish to travel. Just going through airport security can be a challenge when we think of body scans that reveal the body they might not be comfortable with, or the pat-down searching. When they want to hire a car, when they want to book a hotel, everything in what appears to be normal for most of the people is a complicated task for transgender people. And if we look, for example, at the lesbians and gay people on each side, well, we see that there is a difference in income in terms of purchasing power when they want to go and travel. So they don't have the same thing in mind. They don't have the same objective, the same way of traveling. So I don't think at the end we can talk about an LGBTQI plus tourism from a marketing perspective. There are different kind of tourism. There's gay tourism, there's lesbian tourism. And then, from a marketing point of view, the other segments, let's say from a marketing perspective of a community, are not very well invested from this marketing point of view. However, there are some common things about LGBTQI plus people who travel compared to non-LGBTQI plus people. And one key element is that LGBTQI plus people, they will check how open, how friendly a destination is before they will decide to go there. And in a study from New York University, it's clearly shown that it's the most important thing LGBTQI plus people check before they travel, even before art, culture, nature, scenery. Is this place safe? Is this place open? So that's a major difference that links us all. And then there is a special kind of tourism with some LGBTQI plus events. We think of gay prides, LGBTQI plus prides, that attract LGBTQI plus people, especially that may motivate them to go to visit a city or destination, but also other events like the gay games or any other kind of LGBTQI plus events.
Is Eurovision a gay event?
Well, I think
Oh my God!
For some, for sure.
For some, for sure. So it's what will move people to a destination. So
Yes.
I think here that's what I wanted to maybe state as an introduction for this debate. That from a marketing point of view, there's not LGBTQI plus tourism. Let's talk about gay tourism, lesbian tourism, and other kind of tourism. And I think in our discussion today with the people around the table, we might focus more about a gay perspective.
Yeah, I'm not really well versed with lesbian tourism, to be honest. So maybe it's a good idea.
Well, let me then just ask, what is important to you when you go to a destination? Do you check the gay life?
Yeah, I'm definitely checking the gay life, the nightlife, but even museums. I remember when I went to Berlin and I was really excited to go to Schwul's Museum, which is a museum dedicated to gay art, a little bit the history of the LGBT, especially the gay rights movements in Berlin. Definitely I think it's an important factor for me. Also, safety-wise, absolutely. We all check if the city is safe, if other people have like recommendation which part of the city it's better to stay. So for me it's important that have components LGBT.
Okay, and then go a little bit further. Thank you, Bogat. But let's go a little bit further. So what are the basic needs?
Well, for me it would be an environment that is safe. I think safe and maybe from not a direct personal point of view, but more like how is the LGBTQI plus community rights? How are these rights in this place? Because I personally don't think I want to travel to places where LGBTQI plus rights are not respected. So, for example, I've been willing to go to Iran for a long time. Yeah. It's a place I'd love to visit and to discover for its history, its culture. But I really don't feel comfortable going there, knowing how gay rights are there. And I don't want to be pretending. That's also an important part of I don't want to hide who I am when I travel.
Because you're in danger when you go there.
Yes, because you're in danger. So it's always between the places I want to travel to and the situation there. That's for me an important question. So not only from a personal perspective, like am I safe or not? Because I know I could pretend and pass for a straight man and enjoy a holiday there, but I think I would not feel comfortable enjoying like
holidays,
like first hiding who I am and then not supporting the community there, because that's also a point that is important to me.
And is there like a place that you would just boycott, just never go?
I would never go to Saudi Arabia. Absolutely never. I even got some ads on Instagram recommending me like travel to Saudi Arabia. I was like, this is
Not happening.
complete missed targeting me getting this ad on Instagram. But for the same reasons as I would feel uncomfortable as when some visiting Iran, I would completely boycott, Saudi Arabia or Brunei.
But sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I think for me there are certain destinations I would love to go, and I think I've been also in destinations that were not the most open. Like for example, Guatemala. It's a very Catholic country, but still we went there and we had a fantastic holiday. I don't think we had to climb back to the closet when
I was
we
going
were
to
there.
ask, like, did you then go back into the closet? No.
Yes and no.
From the videos I've seen, you didn't go back in the closet in Guatemala.
No, it also depends on the situation. I think there were some situations when I felt, okay, this is not the best moment to disclose my sexual orientation, or there's no need to disclose it or showcase it, let's say. But yeah, I mean, it's for me, it's not always, I'm definitely not going to this or that places, because even if you travel to a place where LGBTQ rights are not well protected, or it's straight out dangerous to be queer, still there is an existing queer culture. It's maybe very underground, but it's first to think, okay, maybe it's something that it's nice to discover nevertheless. So it's always a little bit of a hard decision.
And also by maybe going to some places where LGBTQI plus rights are not fully open and liberal or in place at all, by going there you might as well be building bridges. I remember some drag queens when they were going to Beirut in Lebanon, and they were saying like there is a whole gay scene in Beirut in Lebanon, in place in Middle East, where you wouldn't necessarily think that they have an open LGBTQI plus scene. And they were connecting with other drag queens and queer artists from Beirut, Lebanon, building bridges and making important connections for the future.
Yeah, and there's also destinations that are a bit in between. For instance, Japan.
Yeah.
Well, LGBTQI rights in Japan are not the best, but if you go there as a gay man, you can go to a bar. There's no issue. It's just more difficult for the locals than for you. You're not in danger at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line in the way I boycott, for example, some places. It's like really the places where there's still death penalty for being gay. For example, here, I think for me, the idea of going to do tourism in these places, knowing the situation of people that are like me in this country, for me it feels misplaced.
Yes.
So and then there are these destinations that are not the most open, where there's this possibility, and it's something I look for in my travels. Wherever I go, I want to understand how LGBTQI plus people live in this place. So I'm curious about what kind of spaces they have access to. So if there are some bars or some places, I want to go, not so much to drink and have fun, but more to try to have an idea of what it is to be LGBTQI plus, to be a LGBTQI plus person in this country. I try as much as I can to connect with LGBTQI plus locals, and I think in that regards, dating app are super nice when you're traveling. Not so much to find a hookup, but just to connect with people, to get tips about where are the bars, where are the places where you can meet people. And then in my travels, it happened that I connected with some locals and we went for dinner, and it was one of the most interesting nights because you get to talk with people on the ground about their experience. So that's something I think very interesting, or I'm interested in when I travel somewhere. It's trying to understand.
I see that Vieren is making a face. Tell us why.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I did when I was first coming to Brussels. I used an online dating app to find locals that would show me around town. And I wasn't looking for a hookup, wasn't looking for a relationship. It wasn't even on the list of the things that I was looking for. And now I'm here with the table with one local.
And two others that you met.
But I didn't meet you through the app.
Indeed.
Met you through the person.
So it's a nice way to build bridges. And on this dating app, also in Brussels, I like to give tips and to travelers, because I think that's
You're like a tour guide responding on Grindr.
no, but I'm
Go visit this.
because I like when I'm in their situation that someone does that for me when I'm
Yeah,
traveling.
tells
Oh, I
you
was
where to
doing
go
that
and-
back in Zagreb in Croatia. I was doing that. I have to say,
Yeah.
I met with a few people and I was just show them around.
Yeah, and then what happens is you fall in love.
Well, no, yeah.
Could happen.
But we had one part of the sphere which is like really homophobic places where we'll never go. Then we have something in the middle, but there's other extreme. It's gay only, because we're for gays, or gay only
yeah.
destinations like cruises or places we hear about Mykonos or Ibiza or others.
Circuit festival.
Yeah, circuit festival.
What's
Have you guys been to these kind of summer events or
I
summer
have
Oh,
not.
destinations?
yeah.
I
Yeah?
have not. Yeah, you've
Boga?
been?
I've been, for example, not a lot, but one or two circuit parties. Which first time when it was complete coincidence in Barcelona. But it's to be honest, it's very confronting, because I went to these places and I also realized after a few that it's maybe not my scene, because it really targets a certain type of, like, for example, I'm talking about circuit parties.
Yeah.
It really targets and caters for certain kind of gay travelers.
Yeah.
Who like very much into nightlife and a lot of parties, and also perhaps looking in a certain way, acting in a certain way. I don't want to
Sexual
generalize because
freedom, sexual liberation, all that.
yeah, also that, but it's I'm more talking about certain body image.
Oh, yeah.
You have to look a bit more muscular or muscled and so on. So it was not really my scene with my flamboyance and my flaming flaming dance moves.
Okay, and there's also the Pride, like World Prides, Euro Prides. What's your guys have been there already?
I said first categorically no, that I never traveled for gay tourism, and then now when Bogat, you said that you went to circuit party, I realized back in 2019 when I was going back to Brussels to visit this person that I fell in love with. It was coinciding with the time where we organized this water polo event, and it was also like a big gay weekend with the gay circuit party
Of La Démence.
of
here.
La Démence, the biggest in Europe, and being in Brussels. So yeah, I also took part in it. I realized that it is something very, very different than what I'm used to, and that I would not be traveling to places just for the circuit parties. But I'm happy that I have seen it, and I'm happy that they exist, that these types of events exist.
It could be very, very fun, and these
Yeah.
parties, I think,
Yeah.
the circuit festival, it's definitely something that attracts a lot of people
It does.
from all over the world. So it definitely generates a huge
And Brussels is so
yearly
important
migration.
for it. Brussels is super important
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, La Démence weekends when it's like 3 nights in a row. It's
Yeah.
10,000 people coming from 100 countries.
Yeah.
Hotels are full, the bars are full. So for the tourism in Brussels, it's a big thing, and
it's important.
It's super important.
I think it's also a way of it's also a way of considering queer travel from a certain angle, or gay travel from a certain angle. It, as Bogat says, it's targeting really a segment within the gay community also that is that it's becoming part of their culture also to participate in this event. So it's like this culture of a circuit culture, if we can call it. It has its meetings that are these big parties that happens. There's the circuit week, in Barcelona, and then La Démence, and so it's part of kind of this culture of this subgroup of gay people. But it's, I think, I don't know how much it weighs in the whole traveling of gay people, but it's, I guess, a minority. It's not the main.
No.
I would say the main.
For a city, it's big.
Yeah.
Like for Barcelona, I think if you count what the circuit parties bring, it's big. For Brussels, it's the same. It's more than 1% of leisure tourism in Brussels on a whole year, which is huge. And then you can think, maybe it is important that a tourism board invests time in that.
Yeah.
Not only because it's a segment that already is really visible, but it can help to open it up to other segments of our
Yeah.
LGBTQI plus community. And that's why I think it's a real positive thing.
I
It's
mean-
like a first step of many.
Yeah,
Mhm.
what you did by making this tournament, water polo tournament, on the same week as La Démence weekend, you made it cater to the circuit queens, but also to the people who were traveling for gay sport. For
Yeah.
somebody who would not necessarily go to another city for a party, but would go for, I don't know, a tournament in Germany or in Brussels or wherever.
And-
go for the sport tournament.
In my opinion, you don't have to be that muscled, perfect man to go there. The girls
Yeah.
can join. You can be whatever shape you want to be, or you are. Just you can go, and that's what I appreciate also. No pressure. But maybe we can just jump to the prides, because we didn't really talk about that.
Mm.
I've been to 2 World Prides. We've seen Euro Prides. Do you guys travel especially for that?
I think for me it's a moment that I like, both for tourism but also from a community perspective. So it's a way to, as I said earlier, to discover what is the LGBTQI plus life in another city, because Pride is a special event. So to see what is the dynamic of this community in this city, to participate in a party, to do tourism. So I like actually to go to, let's say, 1-2 prides a year, or to make a city trip coincide with a pride, so
Yeah.
that there's a city I want to visit. Well, I will maybe wonder when is the pride. And it's at that moment, so I will go especially at that moment to enjoy both. So I have this kind of 2 aspects: one side visiting the city and then the place, but also getting engaged in the community, and as a way also to support the place. I mean, it's, of course, there's the places where the Pride is a big
Mhm.
party and celebration. I think it's also interesting to go to smaller places where LGBTQI plus rights are not that prominent in society, and be there for their Pride, because it's also a way to show support. So it's a way to link both tourism with activism. That can be a nice point, a nice thing to do. And just to add that, because we were in New York, like we went to New York 2019 for the World Pride, which coincide with the 50 years anniversary of Stonewall.
That was intense, yeah.
And I went there because we had a water polo tournament, but also it was for me, it was also more a pilgrimage. And I will say pilgrimage
That's how you want to say.
because
Very religious.
it was in that meaning to go there and to be there 50 years after. For me, it was very emotional in a way, and to be there to celebrate this anniversary in particular in that place was something that I really enjoyed.
I love it.
I have to admit that it was something special. When we arrived at Stonewall, it's just a small little pub. We entered, we had a beer, of course it was Madonna, I was like voguing on it. But it's big. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's being there and celebrating with the whole community, because there are millions of people.
Yeah.
It makes you feel part of this huge world community, and it motivates you to keep on fighting. So it was something very, very special.
But it's so intense that with Bogat, we were at the World Pride in Madrid a couple of years ago, and after a couple of days, we were like, we have to flee the city, and we took a train to
Exhausted.
Toledo, and it was like maybe the best day of that whole long weekend.
Yeah, I think I agree with Winston in that even if you travel for like a big World Pride, for myself, I made a little mental note that for the next time, I really try to find the other element, not just the party, not just the big parade, the celebration, but really the more on the activist side, on the activism side, to immerse myself a little bit more in the local gay culture. But of course it's a bit difficult. If you go to Madrid during the World Pride, everyone knows that the locals, they flee the city, so they don't really participate in that. and I think that's why it's important, as Vincent said, to go to smaller gay prides, which maybe don't attract a lot of people, but still you have more chance to see the real colors of the local queer community, gay community, and you can make connections much more easier.
Let's talk a bit about ourselves now. Brussels is known to be like a LGBTQI plus destination and a gay destination. You guys feel that too when you're walking around in
Absolutely.
Brussels?
Yeah.
I think what we discussed earlier, I definitely think Brussels is a gay destination. I cannot really talk about how lesbian individuals feel, or I can only talk about my experience. I think Brussels is gay friendly. We have a lot of different events for gay people. I think the Pride is something that attracts people. La Démence is another thing that attracts a lot of different people.
Also Bear Pride.
Bear Pride it's quite. We have a very strong bear community, very active bear community. Rubber and leather community. So I think it is quite.
Yeah, I have to say, when I was first coming to Brussels, I was bookmarking certain bars, and I was seeing like, oh my god, there's so many bars. I realized that there is this LGBTQ village. And then there's the whole, how do you say it? Like a graffiti on the wall. It's not really graffiti. It's a painting on the wall. Mural, exactly. Thank you. On the wall of a gay couple. I said earlier in a few podcasts ago that I was mind blown by seeing gay flags everywhere out in the city, out in front of the bars, even when it's not June, when it's not like or May here, Gay Pride Month. So yeah, I would say that Brussels is definitely a gay destination, a gay-friendly destination.
I may add a little bit, as you said, Philippe, earlier, that this kind of what we call mature destination, so destination that have been inclusive or welcoming for LGBTQI plus people, also are in a phase that they need to evolve a little bit. Like there are things like we said, the Démence and the Pride, and I think there is this feeling that there is more that needs to be done from a queer perspective in terms of cultural author, for example, or things like that we see emerging in Brussels also. This idea that we were targeting, as we said, some part of this community, and this has fueled a full reflection on how we could be more inclusive, like how the services could be more inclusive, but also the cultural or the touristic offer could be more inclusive. And I think Brussels is also at a good stage in that reflection, that we see more and more things happening and new initiative in museums or in exhibition to really include LGBTQI plus people in these conceptions, and that at the end attracts more tourism from LGBTQI plus people.
It's true. You see more initiative towards the LGBTQI plus more than only gay. It's really an inclusive politics that we have in Brussels.
I hope we will soon be able to talk to Jurigi and their benediction party, so stay tuned for what they're doing to boost this whole scene in Brussels.
So
in the next podcast, for sure.
Is it like almost our conclusion? No.
Before we conclude. Sorry to interrupt you. As soon as you can travel, what will you really travel? Where you will travel to? What kind of holidays or destination? Bogat.
Well, to start with, I will definitely go back to Hungary to see my parents, of course. So which is a little bit. Not really a queer travel or a gay tourism, but still, I mean, even in Budapest, I like to discover this underground, growing underground gay community, queer community. But after, I don't know, I have so many places I want to go. To be honest, I don't dare to think about it yet.
I was going to say, of course, I'll go back to Croatia like last summer, but I was so looking forward to World Pride in Copenhagen. That was supposed to be my first World Pride ever, and I was very excited. With August approaching, I don't think we'll be able to go to Copenhagen and fully enjoy it. But once everything reopens, I will try to go to a World Pride, wherever it is. The next one, where is in 2023?
It's
I
not
think
every year.
it's-
It's not every
it's
year.
every
so
two,
I
yeah,
think it's in
2023.
Australia after.
Yeah,
Oh, I'll
it's
have
not
to go
regular.
to Australia. Oh my god.
Disaster. And you, Vincent?
Well, I'll go back to France, see my family also, because we've been stuck in Belgium for now more than 2 months, and another one coming. I love the mountains, so I will go to the mountains. I miss the mountains. In terms of more queer travels, I think I'm missing going to a Pride celebration because, as I say, I usually go to 1, 2, 3 Pride a year, and I like it. And we have some Prides we often go to, and I miss it for a lot of different aspects. Because it's like trip with friends, it's parties, it's engaging with the community. It's having this feeling of being part of this huge community is something I miss. So I
True.
miss this kind of events.
You guys are lucky because I'm Belgian, so I'm stuck in my country. I could travel, but no, I would have to go elsewhere. I think I might just go see friends in Amsterdam with my boyfriend. So that will be the very
Yes,
first.
baby
Yeah.
steps.
Yeah,
Baby
baby
steps.
steps. Exactly.
Let's take a train. Let's
Yeah.
be very ecological.
Yes. We can take a bike to
Or
Amsterdam.
we can take a
no,
bike.
no. But what can we conclude now with this LGBTQI plus or more gay travels?
Well, obviously, it's very difficult to talk about LGBTQI plus traveling because it's so different, but depending on each group of the abbreviation. So I think we can conclude that gay tourism is in its own segment, lesbian tourism in its own, and so on.
Yeah, but I think for what I learned, what I hear from our conversation, is basically what I want to see is a little bit more inclusiveness in terms of the destination where we go, the hotels, the cities that we visit. They understand that there is more than just gays and lesbian people.
Yeah.
So to help them understand this, to help them create something more for the rest of our community, the communities who are lagging behind in terms of their rights and opportunities. So I would like to see more inclusivity. I think being inclusive, this word inclusiveness, I think it will gain some energy and some wave that we can ride on.
Yeah, and I will add, tourism is often seen from a very commercial, economic perspective, but here we see how the idea of inclusiveness can go hand in hand with economic and development, meaning if you realize that there is an audience that may have difficulties traveling, and if you make your city, your country more inclusive, you will attract in return all these people that are not comfortable traveling right now. Then it can be a tool, like this tourism can be a tool to improve locally the situation and build this inclusiveness. So I think, you shouldn't see it from a very much economic perspective. Oh, there's these people, they have money, we will make them come. But see it more as an opportunity to provoke change where you live, and this is a win-win situation.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys for this sunny conversation. And Bogart, are you talking about sunny things and your recommendations today?
Yes, very
Oh,
much,
okay.
very much. So I brought, I'm very generous this week because I brought 3 recommendations. I will go through very quick because I know that we don't have a lot of time left.
TikTok.
The first book that I would like to recommend is called The Black Penguin from Andrew Evans, published in 2017. It's basically an epic travel from Washington, D.C. to the Antarctica of this photojournalist, Andrew, who is doing this amazing journey, more than 19,000 kilometers, within 65 days. And what is interesting is because this person, he grew up in a Mormon community, and then he found his career as a journalist in Nat Geo. But during this travel, we can see also his internal travel. So we get to know his story, we get to know his activism, his work with the gay rights, and so on. So it's a very, very uplifting story of finding his way, basically, as a gay person, and also this moment where he arrives to the Antarctica, and then on these very remote beaches something marvelous happened to him, and something that really leaves a mark on him. So yes, Andrew Evans, The Black Penguin. Yes.
Okay.
The second one is very funny. It's called Gears for Queers. It's a story. It's also a non-fiction story of Abigail Malton and Lilith Cooper, who are a queer artist couple, decided to bike from Amsterdam to Spain in 3 months. And it's about their journey, their joy and hardships of their relationship, their transformative journey through Europe, but also about body image, mental health care. So they touch upon a lot of different topics, and it's very joyful, very, very funny, very moving at the same time. So Gears for Queers by Abigail Malton and Lilith Cooper. And the last one, I think it's also a very nice book. It's called Real Queer America by Samantha Allen. In 2019, he published her book. She is a transgender reporter who does a road trip through the red states of the United States of America. The red states normally voting for Republican Party, so very religious, very conservative, and often very rural. So it's in the middle part of the America, and also the Southern Bible Belt area. So she's visiting these hidden but very vibrant queer communities, making pit stops at drag shows, political rallies, and hubs of queer life, basically. And her motto is super funny. She says, I have to do something gay every day. So that's the motto that she lives by.
Is that difficult?
and you have to read the book to find out. And of course, meeting these extraordinary people on her journey, we also see her internal journey, her life, and then her story as well, how she's living as a trans woman, and what was her personal journey. So yes, Real Queer America by Samantha Allen from 2019 is my third recommendation.
So that's 3 books you can read under the coconut tree.
Exactly.
Okay, and then can I sing a song? It's like from an amazing artist, Holiday, Celebrate. Are you talking about her?
I don't know her.
Ferran, what?
No, sorry, we already gave her some time last week. We also last week recommended a super fresh country pop rapper, Lil Nas X, Pole Dancing to Hell. He also brought us to tears with his letter to younger self, if you remember. And now I'm super happy to say that in the meantime, his single has climbed on top of the Billboard Hot 100, earning him a second #1 song on that chart. So congratulations to the queer queen. With that being said, as much as I'm glad that a young, super queer, gay African-American is slaying the charts, I think we have to acknowledge how he actually did it, and how Montero and his record-breaking song Old Town Road managed to climb on top of these charts. And it is TikTok, a social media based on short looping videos that makes it easy for catchy tunes, often accompanied with viral-worthy visuals or dancing challenges, to be repeated over and over and over again, which of course counts in the streaming of songs and helps songs climb the charts. We can notice that the songs in pop industry are getting shorter and shorter, and in my opinion, I'm afraid of the future in which pop music will be only looking for these catchy tunes and dance challenges so that TikTokers can record it and easily dance to. Everyone here knows that I'm a huge Lady Gaga stan, but even when you compare her album Chromatica from 2020, where most of her songs barely crossed the 3-minute mark, you will notice that there is a giant shift from 2011 album Born This Way, where almost all the songs were longer than 4 minutes, and songs like Edge of Glory, You and I, Hair went way below 5 minutes. On that note, long songs, we are recommending a true veteran in music, an artist that keeps reinventing herself.
Madonna? No?
Almost. And she's really reinventing herself almost in a way of Madonna. Her latest album, Roisin Machine, became her highest charting album in both Ireland and the UK, without TikTok, without dance challenges, and with songs lasting easily over 6-7 minutes. Of course, we're recommending Roisin Murphy.
I say Roisin Murphy.
It's Roisin.
Roisin.
Yeah, so it kind of rhymes with the Roisin Machine. I like saying it. Like Roisin Machine. You can say it.
Roisin Machine.
Roisin Machine. So her album Roisin Machine is like infused with the disco, and it's absolutely amazing. It's also a bit of a nod to Moloko, where she started. She became known in the 1990s, but then after the breakup of Moloko, she embarked on a solo career, releasing her debut solo album Ruby Blue. Now fast forward to 2020, and 5 albums later, she comes up with her, in my opinion, best album so far. And she also blessed us with fabulous, like, I'm tripping on mushrooms and LSD performances from her homes in the UK and Ibiza in lockdown. So what else could an artist do in 2020, 2021? She's still releasing them. She's performing in these trippy videos. You can find it on YouTube and in her Instagram. It really looks like she's tripping on LSD, but I love it. Our favorite songs from Roisin Machine are basically all the songs that have the extended mix. The tracks from the deluxe version of the album, like Incapable, Narcissus, Murphy's Law, Simulation, Something More. So please go to Spotify and listen to the extended versions of these tracks. They go way above 7, 8, 9, some even above 10, 11 minutes. So no TikTok challenges. And I don't think that any TikTok song could ever top these symphonies.
Roisin Machine.
Well said.
Roisin Machine.
Yeah.
We stand.
Well, you know what? I will book my holidays as soon as we finish this podcast. So let's just finish now.
Yay! Let's finish.
Thanks, you guys, for this conversation. I think it was super inspiring. I hope you who are listening to us also get inspired and are in a holiday mood now. And thank you to Visit Brussels to supporting us and this podcast, and Cat Magazine, of course. Follow all the queer news on our website, cat.brussels, also the Facebook, the Spotify, the YouTube channel, and Instagram. And you can find all the links we were talking about, the books and the music and everything on the website. So for now I say bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hasta luego.